Hey everybody, it's Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Descend Beyond updates to Dead by Daylight, going for the Adept Blight achievement. This is to get a merciless killer rating as the Blight. This one's going to be done from the killer side. You're going to need the Blight for this, so make sure you pick him up from the DLC pack or from the in-game store. Once you have him, what you want to do is you want to make sure you equip his 3 unique perks, and only equip these 3. You want to make sure you do Dragon's Grip. Then you're going to want these 2 Hex Totem perks, both Blood Favor and Undying. Make sure you leave the 4th perk slot empty if you have that available to you. Do whatever you want for add-ons or offerings, and then start up the game. The Blight is going to be a little bit of a clunky killer, especially if you are new to him, so make sure you stick to your Dead by Daylight fundamentals if you don't want to take the time to learn how to play him. His basic gimmick is he should be able to sprint with the left trigger. However, you can't hit anyone coming out of this initial sprint unless you bounce off of a wall, so make sure you keep that in mind. At the start of the game, his Undying perk is going to be pretty useful in finding early survivors who are trying to go for totems. Since he has 2 Hex perks that both fill up 3 totems, you should have survivors gravitate towards said totems, and you should be able to find them pretty easily if they do take the bait. Make sure you try to go for a quick down and hook, and then you should be off to the races in terms of pacing yourself to the merciless. So thankfully, we don't really have to worry about using our special ability in the early game, and then once we get our first victims, we're going to also take advantage of his other perk, which is going to be Blood Favor. The way this is going to work is if you happen to injure a survivor, what's going to happen is all of the pallets that are going to be within your immediate vicinity are going to get locked. This is going to help prevent anyone who's trying to pallet loop you, so this is going to help you pressure them. If you can and you are willing to, just make sure you take advantage of your ability right here. Remember, you cannot hit someone coming out of the initial dash. However, if you bounce off of a wall, you can keep chaining dashes together, and you should be able to hit someone starting with the second dash. So make sure you try to pressure someone away from the pallets towards a spot where you can hit them, like a neutral vaulting location, and then you can get a quick hit in that way. That's going to be the best use of the special ability, especially if you aren't so good with using the Blight, but you definitely don't want to over rely on it because the stun that you get coming out of a missed dash is going to slow you down a lot. As for his last perk, which is going to be Dragon's Grip, what you want to do is you want to make sure you kick any generators. That way, anyone who tries to fix them is going to give you a nice little alert. This is going to help out your pressure game a bit. So make sure you bait someone into trying to get back to one of these generators. Then what you want to do is you want to make sure you try to injure them. That way, all the nearby pallets get locked so they don't pallet loop you. And then you want to make sure you try to pressure them towards a spot that they are more likely to go to, which is going to be a neutral vaulting location. And that way, you can get them with a quick dash. And that's pretty much going to be your main gameplay loop. Try to spread this around to all 4 of the survivors. You're going to be doing a lot of crisscrossing because the dash is going to probably separate you from a survivor if you take a bad miss. So you should be able to get a bunch towards the chaser category in this. Just make sure you keep up your hooks and make sure you keep the pressure up. Hopefully you should be able to do this in a timely manner and fill out the points needed for the other categories to get the merciless. Obviously, you want to make sure you keep moving so you avoid camping, and the name of the game with Blight is going to be movement. So just make sure you stay on your toes and make sure you don't over rely on the dash if you aren't too used to it. So keep those tips in mind until you get a game where you bank in that merciless. Of course, you can check your stats by hitting right bumper on the results screen, and you can see what you need to improve on. Once you manage that +2, you should be good for the merciless and the adept. There it is. It's going to be for 20 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.